Hey guys, Derek Blue Collar Chess here, and in today's video, I'm going to continue working on calculation and kind of what I think to be the proper thinking techniques, right? So in this puzzle, some of the key things you want to look at. So it's White's move is what moves does the Black King have, right? It's one of the first questions you should always ask yourself when you're ready to move, especially if you have the time. And all of his pawns are kind of blocked from moving except for the c5 pawn here, right? Okay, so that pawn could move there, but it's White's move, so it can't, right? So basically, just based on that alone, you have got what three candidate moves? You've got f5, got c3, and you got king to d3. So here we're going to talk about opposition. Now, the reason why opposition is good here is because the king is forced to go backwards, okay? Because he can't move a pawn. So once you move to d3, so you move your king to d3 here. So this king cannot go here to e5 because of the pawn here, okay? So and if it pushes that pawn, you're just going to take with this pawn. It's going to be checked, and he has to go to one of those squares anyways. And if he goes to that square, he's going to this pawn. This f4 pawn is going to push. So, anyways, so when you're looking at this, you can almost just, without even really calculating, you're just gonna know, okay, my next move is gonna be king d3. But what happens if he goes king e6? Is there a plan there? Well, if you go king d3 and he goes king e6, what's gonna happen is he's gonna have to take both of your pawns on the f4 square, and on the h4 square would be his plan. Then push the h pawn. All right, so you have to calculate how many moves it takes him to do that. And your plan would be to go over to the a file and take that pawn and to push your a pawn. And how many moves it takes you to do that. His other plan would be to take the f pawn and then try to push the d in the c pawns, which that you can just look at that and optically know that will just take way too long. Okay, so but using the counting method, we'll work out those plans, right? So one, the king has to move. So if the king goes here, you've got 1, 2, 3. We'll just say here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, queen. So over here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it was 8 over here, 10 over here. So that's too slow. Okay? And the other one you can just assume will be too slow too, because you have to push the pawn, push that pawn, bring the king over. It's going to take just too many moves, and by then your king will be back, and yeah, it just won't work. So if he goes that way, that you are completely winning the game, right? Just by doing the counting method. So now by doing the same thing, hopefully I did that right there. So just by doing the same thing, so say instead of the king going there, the king will go here. So you've got, after you get opposition, so you've got 1, 2, oh no, okay, whoops, sorry about that. You won't even be doing that. So, yeah, so that one you don't even have to really count, right? So if you go to d3 and he goes to c6, you're just gonna go to king to e4, and if he pushes, you're just gonna bring your king up 1, and this pawn just has a free way to go, right? So you already know you're winning that way. So really the only thing you have to calculate is going to be king to e6. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I haven't really looked at this puzzle. I just kind of already knew that king to d3 is the right move because opposition is almost always the right move. No, not always. I mean, you still have to think and calculate for sure. But it's going to be in these type of locked positions where the king doesn't have squares to go to. that's what you're going to want to look at. So let's just quickly look at these moves here real quick. So king to d3. And now I'm gonna let's see what the computer says. So king to c6. So king to c6. Let's see what's gonna happen here. So then you got king to e4. I think just automatically. King to d7. Okay. So here it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna want to get the opposition. So because once you get the opposition. Okay, so again, so opposition is when the king is in front of the opposing king by 1 square, okay? So anyways, and whichever way that he goes, like if he goes that way, you're going to go this way. If he goes this way, you're going to go this way. And you're either going to queen this pawn, or you're going to end up taking this pawn and then queening this pawn. That's going to be a plan every time. So the only possible tricky move would be c4 maybe. So you look at c4. Let's b takes c4. And then again, whichever way you go. So let's say he goes to, say if he goes just back one, right? You're just going to take the pawn. If he goes to e7, you're going to go here. And so at this point, like he can never push this. He can't push the d pawn because you're just gonna take it. He can't push this pawn because you're just gonna take it. So it's gonna be the same thing. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right, all together. And it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, so it's just, you don't even really have to calculate. You just know you need the opposition in that particular puzzle. So that was the first puzzle they gave me. Then they immediately gave me another puzzle when I was doing it. This one as well. So I think this one's a little bit trickier. Well, I mean, it's not really trickier. It might optically look trickier. So these are puzzles on the Lichess puzzle page, and they're in the, I don't know, I think I'm 2300 or something. Rated. So this is what they're giving you for puzzles at that rating. So again, you just automatically know that you can go to f5, and you can go to f5 because the white king has nowhere to move because you have the opposition. So he has to either go this way or backwards to one of these squares. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. So he has to give ground somewhere. And then you have to figure out if that is working for you. Okay. So you already know your first move, which is going to be king to f5. Okay. And you know that he needs to move. So probably the most, I would say, one that would be the hardest one to figure out would probably be king to e. Well, no, because king to e3, you just got to simply play king to g4, and you've got to be winning that, right? So again, it's going to be the counting method. So we're going to count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, whoops, did that completely wrong. Let's do that one more time. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And over here you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you guys queen at the same time. The problem is you're going to queen first, right? Because you move first, and the king's going to be here, so you're going to queen here with a check. Okay, sorry about all the arrows. So that probably is a little confusing. So I apologize for that for all the new people. So that would be a bit of calculation, but basically all you have to do is count, and you're going to have to know that the king is going to be on the d5 square, and that you're going to be queening the h pawn. So h1 is always going to be a light square because it's the right side of the board, right? So it's going to be a check, and then you're going to be able to scoop up that pawn, and meanwhile you'll be taking the other pawn and promoting your G pawn. So you know that's a win right off the bat. And then the other move would be king to f5, king to g3, right? So you have king to f5, king to g3, and then you would have basically your king there, king to e4. Then he would play king to f2 probably. Well, no, see that loses immediately too, because then you're going to have the same situation, because you're just going to slide your king back there, and you'll be in opposition because his king will be there, and your king will be on that square on f4, and you'll be in opposition, and you're just going to slide over and grab this pawn, right? And then grab that pawn, and then the game's over. So, yeah, so it's... Yeah, so he can't even go that way. So the best move would be to go the other way, and all you got to do is the simple counting method, and you know that you're going to queen with a check. And if he takes an extra move to move his king, then that makes it 9. So you get your queen over to the c file. Nice and easy. So again, I'm going to show you what that looks like, because probably the way I explained it is very confusing for people. I apologize for that. So you do this move. King to f5, you grab opposition, and then the king's going to go to e3, and then you're going to play this move, and then he's going to play this move. You're going to take the pawn, he's going to take the pawn, and you're just going to probably just take this pawn, make it simple. He's going to go there. So you're already on the other side of the board, right? So then he's going to do this, you're going to do this, and this is the way it looks. And then you've got check, and then the king has got to move somewhere, like there, and then you can bring your king to a1, you can go to b7 check, you can do it that way. Check real quick here, make sure I didn't miss anything. This is all winning. So anyways, you don't even really have to calculate, I do this, he does this, I do this, he does this. You just have to do the counting method. And it does help if you have some pattern recognition already built up. So going through some of these end games, especially on Lichess, they have some really good puzzles. You'll start to get a good pattern recognition going, because they're just going to hit you with thousands of them, and they're all pseudo-tactical. So, it's just pawns. So there's only a few tactics you're going to have to learn, and you'll start to be able to calculate a lot faster and be able to use little tricks like counting or the square method, all those type of things. All right, it's Derek with Blue Collar Chess. Sorry I got a little confusing there for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helps somebody out there, and I'll be talking to you guys later.